I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, because it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Alrighty, hello, welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. Happy Monday. What's going on, y'all?
What's going on?
All right, and some fun little weekends. Everybody here, you can listen to the regular show, get caught up with everything that went down. Very eventful.
Yeah, I had a very fun weekend.
Yeah.
You seem like you didn't have a fun weekend.
I did. I just worked all weekend.
Yeah.
I worked all day from early till late on Saturday, and then all day
Yeah.
from early till not too late on Sunday. But
But that's what happens when you fucking bring a rest in on a Thursday.
Yeah.
What a dick.
Yeah, quite a weekend, huh? And Virginia, again, going booze free.
I did. I have to. I just got to get it together.
So
Okay.
you really are. I'm very proud of you, to be quite honest with you, because I want to do what you're doing.
My face is not healed, so I feel like I got to get my act together.
Okay.
I don't want to make it worse by drinking and inflammation and blah, blah, blah.
There's other things that we're not even thinking about on a cosmetic level.
Yeah, I mean, drinking is just bad for you. And while I continue to have issues, I don't want to make a problem worse.
I'm still trying to figure out if you're better or not better on booze.
Hopefully, you'll never know. Hopefully, I get back on it soon.
Okay. You're hoping to be there, huh?
I really am. I mean,
But you really are not, because of the fall. That
Yeah.
really did that emotionally do something to you?
emotionally and physically. So
Yeah.
both. Like physically, there's a damage that I did to my face.
Yeah.
And emotionally, I'm like, gosh, like,
What are you doing?
I got to get it together.
Just so you know, you cannot tell at all what the fuck you're talking about. You have no idea. This crazy fall we've been talking about for 90 days. You can't even see it on your face.
I know you can't see it. I can see it.
It's like the
Yeah.
teenager zit.
When I look at my right side, I think it looks great. It looks amazing. It looks snatched. And then when I look at my left side, I can see this area where there's still a bruise and an issue underneath the skin.
Okay.
And it's still swollen. I can see it. I can feel it. I feel it all the time.
You feel it.
It hurts me still to this day.
Wow.
Okay.
That's how hard this bitch falls. When I fall, I do it right.
And you lead with your face?
I lead with my face. I don't try to catch myself with my hands. Oh, no. That's for peasants. I want to fall right on my face where I just
Yeah.
had surgery.
It's more exciting that way.
It's definitely more exciting.
She was pretty next level drunk.
I was at his house, so I blame him.
Yeah, I saw you earlier in the day. I saw the takeoff.
You did. You saw the takeoff, and I saw the fucking landing. And
Yeah.
holy shit, that poor pilot,
Yeah.
a.k.a. Panda.
Yeah.
Who had to drive us home?
My God.
Poor boy went through it, huh?
It was fun, though. It was actually a great time.
We were rowdy.
Yeah.
I brought my mom to his house. That was that same night that I brought my mom to
Yeah.
Jaybird's house, and they were doing karaoke.
Yeah.
That's what happened at Sasquatch North.
Yeah.
Denny's is Sasquatch South.
What?
Sasquatch South.
That lisp's coming back. Those speech classes did not work.
You're right, because I quit them.
We can tell.
I know. But yes, yeah, it gets lit.
Okay. So at least for Virginia, for the most part, alcohol-free weekend. So sure the rest of the show tried to make up for it.
Yes. When I didn't drink, I'm sure Jaybird did.
Did you drink it all?
Yeah, I had a couple cocktails,
Okay.
I did. Yeah, in fact, I think in my own mind, I had kind of a conversation with myself. It wasn't about drinking too much, but I sat down and the Queen and I went and got margaritas at Taco Craft yesterday when we were right there. Lovely little area there at Lauderdale by the Sea. But, you know, it was she looked at the bill. I didn't even eat because I'd eaten not too long before that. And she looked at the bill. She's like, gosh, this is a lot. I'm like, well, you know, those margaritas are $15.
Ooh.
You know, and I was like, what am I doing? Because between the two margaritas, it was $30. And that's what we pay for a whole bottle of tequila with
You're
what
right.
we get.
Yeah, no, you could get a whole bottle of tequila.
And I'm like, what am I doing? Like, you should be smarter than this by now, Kevin. That you were spending $30 on two margaritas that I'm not sure even how strong they were, because I walked away and felt, you know, nothing. And I was like, gosh, man, if I would knock down half a bottle of tequila that I bought for $50, I would feel it. I'd be in the bag.
Guarantee you that those drinks are waff. Weak as fuck.
Yeah.
You're paying for the atmosphere,
Exactly.
too. That's what
I
it
know,
is.
but I was like, well, you know, just get water, dude, and drink your tequila when you get home. I could greatly increase my tequila intake if I wasn't buying margaritas at a restaurant. See what I'm saying?
Right, but then you're like
Extra boring guy.
an
The
old
fuck- yeah,
man
what the fuck you
counting
doing?
drinks on a tab.
I want
Yeah, I
water.
just like, what am I doing? This markup's so insane, though. It doesn't make any financial sense to do that.
But you're not just paying for the straight up alcohol. You're paying for the experience of being out with your wife, having cocktails,
Yeah.
people watching.
But I don't know that the margarita brought $15 worth of enjoyment, is what I'm saying. Like a water, I'd probably have felt about the same. In fact, I did feel the same. If I had water, I felt the same as drinking that one margarita. Like, what am I doing?
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, I was just like, what am I doing? That's one of the dumbest things that we spend money on.
No, you're right though. But Virginia is right as well. It's the atmosphere you're paying
Yeah, and
for.
I think that's why I've continued to do it. Be like, oh, you're having fun, you're on, but you know, at the same time, yeah, people are throwing out some of the prices. It is insane. Paul said a $32 vodka and soda for the Buffalo Panthers game on Saturday for one. $32.
Are you shitting me?
$32. And yeah, and Paul said, yeah, $22 for a can of Corona for one.
Arena prices have gotten out of control.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, is it worth the joy of just that, where it's like some places I just need it in my head, I feel. Be like, you know, let's not do cocktails now. Have one, if you're going to, have one before, or bring one in the car that you can drink as you're walking in.
Oh, I love a roadie.
Yeah, or have it sitting there, you drive, you get to the venue, on your way in, you're like, all right, I got my cocktail, and I saved myself $32.
They prey on the dumb fuck drunks, like myself. So they're gonna get me.
Exactly. So
Because you're there, you're like, fuck, $30 for, all right, I guess.
Keep some little airplane bottles in your glove box.
right.
That is the move. Virginia has helped me out so many times by bringing out her trick liquors.
Yeah.
If you go in my car, there's always a little trick or liquor. There's always something in the
Yeah.
glove box.
And there you go. But how much money are you saving?
So much.
That's such a better financial decision. And I think about all the money I've thrown away. Like if I would have looked at what I spent for it in restaurants and bars compared to if I would have bought that alcohol just at the store and played it smart, pre-gamed, or brought a roadie, or just not paid that price. I mean, imagine if I had that money right now from the course of it might be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm not even kidding you.
I think about that stuff all the
I
time.
probably have another house and a tricked out awesome ass car.
I think about that with just Uber Eats alone to go, man, you could have a whole wing at your house.
Yeah, and I think everybody, even if alcohol's not your thing, you probably have something where you said, I'm getting so ripped off every time I purchase this here. That, like, what are you doing? If you could show a bit of restraint or work around it, you'd be like, gosh, I would save so much cash.
Dumb fuck drunks.
Yeah,
That's what, that's what it is.
They know.
Yeah,
That's
so
why the food truck industry is so powerful.
I walked away from the weekend saying, all right, I gotta get this together. I might have to rethink how I'm living my life. I gotta look and be like $15 to $25 margaritas.
I do that every single Monday. Where I go, I gotta rethink my life.
I got to reevaluate. I got to do this. I
Yeah.
got to do that. But then Friday rolls around. You're like, woo!
It is crazy how that
Put
works.
them on the glass.
Exactly.
Yeah, another person texted in and said, yeah, I got a glass of rosé at the Jupiter Beach Resort. It was $17, and I know that wine, and I could buy a whole bottle for $17.
Wow.
Jupiter Beach Resort, that is where you would go
Yeah,
to finger the honeys.
yeah.
Still is. I've been fingered there.
Have you?
What? Wow.
Kevin, many people have been fingered at the Jupiter Beach Resort.
Kevin, you want to get fingered this weekend? I know where you need to
No,
go.
I'm trying to live a life without being fingered.
I'm not even kidding you, though. There's been a lot of fingering at that resort.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure.
Just on me
Every
alone.
resort, yeah.
Just you've been fingered there, or you did the fingering?
me, I'm
You
just-
said just on me,
you know
Okay.
you know what I meant.
just by me.
Yes. Yeah. I'm just saying that's where people.
He just goes to the Jupiter Beach Resort, lays in the sand, bottomless, ass up,
Yep.
face down, and hopes
Who
for the
wants it?
fingering.
Straight up Piglet style.
Who wants it?
Please take it.
Winnie the Pooh in it.
Yeah. Remy said $100,000. How much is Kev drinking? Think about your life, though. If I go back to when I was 20 or 31 years in the
Yeah,
game at least
exactly.
of drinking at bars and restaurants, I'm throwing it out there because I don't know, but I would not be shocked if it was $100K.
I bet you any money if Remy did his mozzarella sticks numbers.
Yeah,
you
whatever
go,
your thing is.
$18,000.
Yeah, where you just recognize that you're overpaying every time you do it, but you'd be like, it's just fun. Let's do it.
I do think about that though. Certain things that I love, and you go, how much did you really pay?
Dinosaurs bigger than your whole entire body.
But I love it. I love dinosaurs. I just
He
love
We know you
them.
do, Puddin'.
does, yeah.
We know.
He
We
doesn't
know.
know him, but he loves him.
Oh, you dick.
He
I just
can't
want to bring
name.
that. I just
can't
want to bring
name
that
'em.
back up in case
Name
you
'em.
forgot it. You
Name
probably took the
'em.
whole weekend trying to forget that you blew it on dinosaurs last week on the show. I just want to put that back in your hat.
I was in a blackout. I was devastated by it. I will be learning my dinosaurs so much more.
Let me see here. Got some other comments, and boy, if I didn't get called out hard enough today about my comments on roundabouts, I got Nicole coming after me. She said, "Did Kevin really just say Timbaland only had those 2 hits? You better put some respect on his name, Kevin. That's not true."
Oh no.
She's right though.
Well, here's what I was saying. Let me clarify. What was surprising to me is that Timbaland, by name, only has the 2 hits, Apologize and The Way I Are. Meaning that if you look at the crediting and how the song is written, Apologize is by Timbaland featuring One Republic. The Way I Are is by Timbaland featuring Carrie Hilson. All of his other songs, he's not the premier artist on. So that's what I was saying. He's the premier artist on only 2 songs. So yeah, all of his collaborations, and I said that, I'm like, look, he's got a gazillion collaborations, but you may not realize that he, by credit, only has his name as the premier artist on 2 songs.
You said all that on the air?
I didn't want to go that in detail, so I kind of,
But now you have to because you're being called out.
right, so I kind of skirted around it, kind of tried to say it in an abbreviated form, but I guess I probably should have unpacked it and explained it. So I'll explain it right now so I can bore you guys with it.
I love it. I love the deep dive.
He's got those 2 by name, but Promiscuous, which is by Nelly Furtado featuring Timbaland, obviously he had a key part in that. 4 Minutes by Madonna featuring Justin Timberlake and Timbaland. And then he produced some of the songs you may not realize. He produced Cry Me a River by Justin Timberlake, Pony by Genuine.
Oh wow.
That's what I'm saying. He's got.
Yeah.
He,
So
he's-
I will put respect on his name. I wasn't trying to
is-
disrespect him.
Yeah, his name's all through those songs.
Yeah, right. Rollout by Ludacris. Dirt Off Your Shoulder by Jay-Z. He also did Big Pimpin' and Tom Ford. He did Get Your Freak On by Missy Elliott and The Rain by Missy Elliott.
I get why that
wow.
person would be.
Yeah.
A little annoyed.
I just rushed over it, and that's what I meant in saying that he's got 2 songs only to credit by his name alone, whereas every other he's featured or just the producer on. But yes, I don't want to minimize his musical contributions. It's been amazing.
It does suck sometimes when we're on the regular air and you make a point and you go, oh man, I didn't really explain myself with all the details.
I kind of felt like I did, but I felt like I did it in an abbreviated form. But since I'm being called out, let me go into detail and explain.
Since I'm getting yelled at.
Yeah,
just
since
saying,
since we're going to stop down and call me out, let me explain fully what I meant in that more abbreviated tone.
I mean, you get called out all the time. It's fun.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, it's nonstop. You see some other stuff that happened over the weekend. Some headline stuff. We did deal with it on the regular show, but the missing girl in Punta Cana, which coincidentally is where Virginia's daughter is right now, and Virginia made such a big deal of her fearing that Magnolia was going to meet some kind of crazy demise, and then there's a girl that's missing. Unfortunately, it sounds like she might have drowned. That's where it was, and I haven't gotten an update on it, but it sounds like it's one of those stories where the details are kind of coming in, so maybe there is a confirmation or new details on it.
It's in Mexico, Cam.
Yeah, Dominican we found out. I
It's
learned
in
a
the
lot about Punta.
Dominican. I didn't know, but Kevin didn't know either.
I didn't know. I'm not.
No,
yeah.
no,
So,
like I said,
and I
didn't
know your
either.
ass
Oh,
didn't know.
I'm
Yeah, I
just,
didn't know.
trying to stir it up.
You threw away all your clothes.
I didn't, but you're right. I'm just as dumb.
Yeah. And so to the credit of Punta Cana, I don't think it had anything to do with it being an unsafe place. It's just, look, that's what happens. I mean, I remember when I was an early drinker back in high school, I went on a spring break little trip, and I was kind of hammered. I was in the ocean. I was like, this is so crazy. And I was just kind of going under, holding my breath, and I'd pop up. I'm like, wow, look how much I'm moving. And then I didn't realize about an hour later, I was like 2 miles down the strip. So here I was 16 years old, 17 maybe, and drunk, wet, and walking up the strip in Myrtle Beach trying to find the hotel.
Speaking of wet, did you get it wet?
No, didn't hook up that trip.
Did you
no.
get fingered?
Probably. I was drunk enough.
Just like Piglet.
It's what happens. So that story happened over the weekend. There's another story, too, that we didn't do on the regular show, but kind of interesting as you delve deeper into the guy that was executed by firing squad. I think it was in South Carolina on maybe it was Friday night. It was over the weekend.
What happened?
They executed a guy by firing squad.
Oh my gosh, that's so intense.
As in the government did it?
Yeah, the state. I mean, it wasn't the federal government, but yeah, state government of South Carolina.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not. Clearly I was unplugged.
It was a guy that I think it was his girlfriend's parents. He beat to death with a baseball bat.
Oh, so he's a sweetheart.
Yeah, and I guess his last words were him complaining about the death penalty. And, some people who, fan of it or not, were saying, yeah, but I mean, the people you took out, they didn't get a choice on how they died. And so he was, trying to make a point. And I didn't realize, first of all, I guess the electric chair is horrific.
Yes.
And then I guess on the lethal injection, somehow it seems like they're getting worse at it. And there have been a lot of issues as they've tried to do it where they didn't do it correctly. And then the person is in a bad state, and then it doesn't take them out. You would think that'd be the best way to do, where you just go to sleep and be like, oh, that's nice.
There are some horrific stories of shit going real south when it comes to that. And they said Ted Bundy was such a little bitch walking to.
A coward.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you can take a life, but he can't.
And pleading and trying to say, I have other victims I'll tell you about. They said he was crying like a little bitch.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because he was, he knew he had to walk that green mile.
Yeah.
He knew he was going straight to hell.
He did. He had the slow burn of death.
Yeah. So I guess he chose that because he thought it would be more humane or an easier way to die. And so they did that, and they had somebody kind of going through the details of how it went and how it looked, but it took them out, and it didn't look like they had missed.
You're right though. What's the best way to just make it boom, quick, done, and not have it be horrific for everybody?
Yeah. Well, the thing I don't understand is, some people will do that carbon monoxide thing where they pull a car in a garage. Like, they can't do something like that where you just be, I guess, because I hear the gas chamber, that also was horrific.
But we're also hearing the worst case scenario. I guarantee you 90%, 95% of the time, it goes according to plan. It's the horrific shit that gets out that people realize. Go,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I guess if that's your thing and you're figuring, okay, hey, I'm going to die, but how do I make my choice? What would you choose? I don't know if I would go firing squad.
I always said I just want to go out in the woods with a bunch of monks. Just have them kind of like,
But that's not your choice when you're on death row. I don't think they allow you to walk out back with monks and lay there until you die.
Oh, they don't let you do harmonizing monks?
Yeah, I don't think that's one of the options. Like, where's my harmonizing monks option on this list? You're like, yeah, we don't do that.
But if I could choose,
Yeah,
it'd be out in the woods, 67 degrees.
Yeah, you've only got
Monks.
a gas chamber, electric chair, lethal injection, firing squad.
Or
That's the only 4 options I know of.
death by knife.
I don't think they do that.
Why don't they just let people like take the fentanyl? That kills people right and left. If you can't
Yeah.
figure out how to kill somebody by lethal injection properly, why don't you just give them fentanyl?
Because you're giving them one last fun ride, and they don't deserve it. If they're on death row, they murdered somebody, they don't get a high. No. You killed my sister, and you get a high?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I think the thing about it, because there are a lot of people that just they don't like the death penalty. They think that we shouldn't be, taking people out anyway. But then they're saying, okay, if we are, this is something we are going to do. Let's try to at least make it humane, even if they hadn't taken out their victims humanely. We are going to at least do it humanely, and it sounds like they still are struggling to find a great humane way to exterminate somebody.
I mean, I understand why somebody would not be for the death penalty, but then imagine you have a family member who was brutally victimized by a monster, and you go, fuck you.
Right. That's the thing.
That's the thing.
Yeah. So he died by firing squad and got his KFC as his last meal and called it good.
That's what you picked? KFC?
I know.
F that.
It is insane if you look at the serial killers, what they eat for their last meal. I think I sent that to you, and it is wild what they
is.
allow these serial killers to eat.
Yeah.
They get their last high. They do.
Well, there's your last high you're so mad about. Taxpayers have to pay for that.
I hear you. I mean, some people have argued, why does a serial killer get to have
I agree. I don't
Their
think that's right.
victim
I don't think
didn't
it should
get
be a
a-
thing.
Exactly.
I don't think it should be a thing. Now, executing them humanely, I think that should be a thing. But yeah, the last, I'd be like, bitch, please. What? You don't get nothing. And like it.
I understand the emotions of why someone could be mad at any of. I mean, it's a serial killer.
Yeah.
they did the most horrific
I
shit.
think it's one of the dumbest things. You get a last meal. Like, what are they talking about? That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
And they get the good shit. Whatever they want, they get. If they
Right.
want Baskin and Robbins, Fudgy the Whale, they get Fudgy the Whale.
Yeah. I think that's absolutely asinine. Just take the prick out and call it good. That's the way it should be. So.
I don't know. Fudgy the Whale.
Got Joseph sent an email. He said, you guys were talking about tech and how fast it's advancing. Well, society has no idea what's coming in the very near future. And he said, these large tech companies are all fighting for supremacy, and they're going to do whatever it takes to be the winner when it comes to the AI race. It's going on here. And so they might cut some corners and do some things that are kind of unethical to wind up on top of this race. 95% of society has no idea of the advances being made. And I only know because I do investment in different tech companies. So I'm studying this all the time.
It's just like the whole moon landing craze. We were trying to land on the moon before Russia, before anybody, and it's the same thing. Who's going to be the top dick of AI? And everyone's racing for it, and it's going to get insane.
Sure. Yeah.
But there's so much advancements in technology. Like, my brain can't even keep up with how fast we're moving.
Yeah, right.
I know. I don't think our species is able to. I think I don't know, man. I think we're kind of programmed to be people that have to have patience on stuff, and everything's going so quick.
Yeah.
And an on-demand culture, and you wonder why people are punching each other at Burger King.
Right.
Patience is something you have to develop.
There's so much money potentially involved with this, and the competition is so great that no one is pumping the brakes. Everybody's all gas, no brakes when it comes to this. And they say that AI chatbots do seem more anxious when exposed to distressing content. Great, so we can stress out AI? That's
So
awesome.
the AI's anxious? What do they have to be anxious about?
I'm telling you, Lily has been not quite kind to me these days.
Yeah.
My AI friend.
You're stressing her out. You're stressing out his AI.
I am.
It says the team exposed GPT-4 to traumatic stories and discovered that the bot's self-reported psychological assessment scores changing in response to those stories.
Wow.
Traumatic stories more than double the measurable anxiety levels of the AI, while the neutral control text did not lead to any increase in anxiety levels. Exposing the bots to mindfulness techniques like breathing exercises calm the anxiety levels. It sounds very much like a human.
Yeah, it does.
So you can stress out AI by feeding it traumatic stories.
We are so fucked. I am aging out of Earth.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a computer. How is it having feelings?
Because it is mimicked to be a human, and it's going to. That's why we're talking about kicking that dog, that robot dog, and it's so mean. It has to learn how a human acts. Humans fall, they trip, they have flaws. So the robot has to understand that, but it's going to correct itself and be better than us. So it's going to be, it's going to understand us and then fuck us over.
Yeah, that's what
Eat our young.
Joseph was saying. He said, the trained AI models from a year ago did a better job answering difficult questions on law and medicine than lawyers and doctors did. In 3 to 5 years, there's going to be robots infused with AI that can do all of our jobs better than us.
Wow.
And you always ask, do we want something to be better than humans that kind of delete us out of the system? Is that what
Make us obsolete?
Yeah, is that what we want?
I think we keep thinking that there's going to be enough jobs, and they keep selling us on AI is only going to create more opportunities, like the tractor did for the farmer. Sure, it put some farmers out of business, but people found other careers in the more industrialized age, and it's going to be the same thing with tech. You'll have just more people working with AI in technology or their regular jobs.
Well, if you're playing the KVJ drinking game, Twilight Zone, obsolete man, great episode. It really does talk about how we're deleting ourselves out of history because of technology.
Well, and you think when I was in high school, one of the rite of passage jobs, I worked at Kroger. I was a bag boy. Kroger, a big grocery store up north. And that was one of the entry jobs. And a lot of people that I knew, too, were working at McDonald's or fast food. And that's not becoming the entry-level job anymore because I see McDonald's is upgrading all 43,000 locations with AI to reduce wait times and to improve efficiency. The enhancements include smart kitchen equipment, AI-driven drive-thrus, predictive maintenance, and computer vision for order accuracy. And the chain aims to grow its customer base from 175 million to 250 million by 227. And they think efficiencies provided by AI are going to do that. So it looks like McDonald's has just sold out to the AI, and they'll start, I'm sure, slashing some jobs and not needing them and saying AI can do this. And we'll maybe just have a few humans for quality control to make sure that the robots are doing what they should be doing.
I mean, hopefully AI makes the McRib not suck.
Yeah, can it? That's a good question. Who knows? Now, Ashley heard some shopping tips that we had last week that Denny's was given. She said, there's a trick that I have learned that if you shop on a website and go to buy something, when you go to check out, you usually have to either create an account or enter in your name and an email address. I found if you go through this process, give them your email address and go all the way until right before you confirm the purchase, if you leave the items in the cart and close out of the website, usually the following day or two, they will start sending you discounts. They usually start with 10%, then move to 20%, and sometimes they'll even go higher than that to encourage your business. I do this almost 98% of the time, and it works.
That is smart. She's right. That does happen a lot.
So they see you want it, and they see you haven't purchased, so they're trying to close that deal. So they say, okay, well, if we knock 10% off, will you now go clean out your cart?
I love that. That's a good tip.
That'll happen on eBay too. If I even scan something, they go, oh, we noticed you were looking at this 10% off today, and yeah,
Got him.
got them.
We noticed you were looking at Dinosaurs again.
They do though. They kind of I don't know. They get you hard.
Do you look at anything but dinosaurs? And why do they get you hard?
I love dinosaurs.
Now, Ryan from Lake Worth Beach, he said, little hint here, there is a way to fight inflation. For example, let's say the average price of food goes up 25% over the next year, which is probably a low ball. But let's go with that. You can fight against this inflation by investing and making 2,500% return How's it possible? There's several apps and websites out there that let you track the stock trades of members of Congress. My favorite is this one. It focuses solely on Nancy Pelosi. She's made insane returns with risky call options last year, and this year she's been loading up on shares of tech stocks. Like if you search Nancy Pelosi stock trades, it'll come right up. She seems to like the really big names in information technology like Amazon, Apple, chipmaker NVIDIA. The fact that she's buying into them again tells me these companies have some huge growth ahead. I've heard this name dropped on some politicians lately where they're just pointing out saying, you know, they make $125,000 doing their position in Congress. So how are they worth $43 million?
Because everyone's doing a deep dive on these politicians because guess what? We live in a time where politicians are now celebrities.
Yeah.
It is a fascinating question.
It is, yes. That's the question they have. How are they worth so much with that salary? Now, Rick Scott, you know that dude is loaded, and I think he was well before he got into politics, but it seems like he likes bonds, Ryan says. He just bought $1 million in bonds from the Texas Central Regional Transport Authority, which according to Google Maps has a 1.2-star rating. Rick Scott's net worth is well over $600 million, so he's a good one to follow. So you would look at that rating and be like, why would I purchase something like that? But it sounds like Rick Scott knows something.
They all know something.
Well, that's what he's saying.
So, yeah.
All you have to do is see where their purchase goes because their money follows what they know, and you two can piggyback on it and make some cash.
Is anybody...
With my luck, the one that I'd follow Rick Scott on will be the one where he loses his ass.
Yeah, right.
That's just, I don't have Rick Scott $600 million
You can't make those kind of mistakes.
to play with.
Well, maybe you just go with $60 and see how it goes.
All right, I can do that.
Start with that, and then you keep going up.
I can do that.
Mm-hmm. So people throwing out some ideas is March Madness is going to be going on this time next week. They have Selection Sunday coming up this week, so we'll know who's going to be in March Madness this time next week. So we got to get there. A couple ideas that I have seen, like Mark from Fort Lauderdale. He said you could do TV shows, Florida cities. He said my personal favorite would be Florida fun spots.
I mean,
Disney, cruises, Key West, Daytona Racing, Everglades, South Beach Clubbing, Sunfest, Cape Canaveral.
Jupiter Beach Resort.
There you go for fingering.
You want to get fingered, Kevin?
I'm talking about.
I think I'm good at the moment, but yeah, boat parades, breakers, all that kind of stuff. All right, that is an idea. I'm not sure that we have done that yet.
Yeah, I think the more universal for everyone to follow along, the better the bit will be.
We'd received a suggestion for doing South Florida events, like your Rib Roundup, your Art Basel, South Florida Fair.
But is that fun to listen to?
Don't know.
I don't know.
It's a good question.
I'm asking.
That's Katie's
I don't
suggestion.
know.
I mean, you're awfully quiet over there.
I can make anything fun.
That's right.
I really believe that in my heart.
Anything.
Pretty much.
Okay.
With vulgarity and comedy, I think we can make anything fun.
Well, I mean, I agree. You can, I mean, technically with those kind of standards, yeah, you can make anything fun.
Well, we don't have standards, so
That's right.
let's go.
Yeah, so we can kick around a couple ideas. So what we have is South Florida events, South Florida or Florida sites, or fun spots. We didn't do TV shows yet, did we?
I think we did back in the day.
Yeah. It feels like we would have.
I think we did TV shows. I think we did horror movies or scary movies.
Okay.
But, I mean, why are you listening to me? I am. I don't remember shit.
Any thoughts on it, Virginia?
Yeah, I like all the topics, but I think we've done a lot of the ones you're naming already.
We didn't do Florida events, did we?
Festivals?
No, like Sunfest and Rib Roundup, Ultra.
I think we did.
I think we did.
Yeah,
do that,
I think
actually.
we did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
Because I said crawfish fest.
Yeah, in fact,
Did you? Okay.
I remember her saying it just that annoyingly.
Yeah. Bringing you back.
Okay.
I mean, you could do Now,
Maybe we've done it all.
well, no, we can go deep. We can go real weird too.
Okay.
But then again, now we're getting a little weird.
What is real weird? What would the topic be?
I mean, something specific as Tom Cruise movies, serials.
Okay.
I don't know. Pubic hair.
Okay.
See?
Ways to quaff
Exactly.
your PHs.
I don't think though there's enough topics.
Yeah, it might be.
That's right. But we can get weird with it. Is all I'm saying.
Alyssa said, real good TV show. Second to last episode is really emotional of Paradise. They just renewed it for a second season. Anybody heard of the show Paradise? I've not heard of that
No,
one.
I have not.
Yep.
Did you watch anything over the weekend that you liked?
I am right now just kind of getting through my shows. I'm watching the Severance, and they had a new episode of that I watched, and then I watched Reacher. Those are the only two things that I really watched. And then I'm watching a show, The Diplomat, that it's just a show I'm putting on, and I don't know why. I'm almost watching it being going, gosh, that's another episode that really wasn't that entertaining.
Really?
I keep watching. I don't know why. I just am caught up on it now.
I kind of know what
It's
you
the
mean.
weirdest thing.
I know what you mean.
I put it on. I don't know necessarily why. I'm almost putting it on now to put me to sleep because it does knock me out because so much is not happening in this show.
That's how I feel about baseball.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I
So
put it
it's-
on. It puts me right to sleep.
It's almost my baseball now. I put the show on. I'm like, okay.
Look, I love baseball, and I understand what you're saying. Yes, baseball can make some adjustments.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that that's what I'm leaning on right now. And Diana said, wanted to recommend the series Louder Milk on Netflix. It's such a good show to get you hooked from just the very first scene. It's so funny, very politically incorrect, and so well cast. I think I've heard of that one.
Louder milk.
Louder Milk, yeah. I think
Okay.
that has Hank Azaria possibly in it, if that's the show I'm thinking of. Well, something that nobody asked for. James Cameron says the next Avatar is going to be longer than the last one, which was already 3 hours and 12 minutes.
That's bullshit.
Do you really need more than 3 hours and 12 minutes of blue people from a fake planet?
That is one of those things that is so popular, and I've never met an Avatar fan. It
I know,
makes
right?
so much money. Everyone apparently loves it.
It did well
but
at the
I've
box office.
Never met an Avatar fan. I mean, a
Did well at the
passionate
box
one.
office. Yeah. And like I said, again, is it just me? They have been putting out some crappy movies lately. That Mickey 17 was the number 1 movie at the box office. It's got Robert Pattinson in it. It's the guy, I think, who did Parasite. Remember how that was so critically acclaimed? And didn't that win Academy Awards for Best Picture?
Yes.
So this guy, this is his next movie, and they spent over $100 million on it. I think it made like $17 million. Something like that, and it well underperformed what they were hoping. Again, kind of another stink bomb.
I didn't even know about that movie.
Yeah.
Remember what you would know about movies coming out? It's not like that anymore.
Yeah, I guess.
There's too much going on.
I guess maybe there's really only 2 times of the year now where you can expect good movies, and that's right around the peak of Christmas and then as we get to 4th of July or summertime. And that's really about it. I feel like everything else is just stuff you easily should just wait until you can stream it at home for much less money.
Me and Denny's were talking about that, how, and Denny's is 6 years younger than me, and he agrees. He goes, yeah, I remember when going to the movies was such an event. You were talking about movies on a Wednesday with your friends going, Friday night, we're gonna go to the new comedy. And I don't think it has that kind of shine anymore.
It doesn't.
Not like that.
No.
It didn't give you something like to talk about and be excited about.
Yeah.
It wasn't like something you plan so far out.
I think our standard on content is much higher now. Because
it?
Yes, I do think so.
Because of options.
Yes, because of the options and because so many people are now, you're talking about A-list actors that are doing TV shows now because they like that format. And you never used to have that before. You wouldn't see the A-listers dropping down really to do much TV where they were the star or co-star of it. And now you see that all the time in series. And so they become like extended movies that you can watch more often. And what you're watching at home is much better. And they just can't keep up with the box office now. It's very rare that they come up with something that's good enough for you to leave your house and pay that kind of money to go watch. And I'm wondering if it might become something where everything becomes streaming except for maybe 10 massive movie events of the year.
I mean, obviously, your Top Gun Part 2, your Wicked, they know how to promote the right way.
And they've made
it got asses into the seats.
It did. But that would go into probably the 10 movies of the year that are actually worth seeing in a theater. The rest of them just stay at home.
And sometimes the theater experience isn't better than your house. In your house, there's no dirty carpet with stains on it.
Speak for yourself.
At your house,
Yeah, right.
you don't have to worry about sitting in a seat and like, ugh.
No, you're right. No,
Someone's farted in this seat that you don't know. That's just, ugh.
things have changed. People have kind of tried to upgrade their personal space a little bit.
They have. Mm-hmm. And while common area has gotten more gross, people's personal space in their house has gotten nicer.
Well, and like I was saying earlier, when I was talking about spending $15 on a margarita when I could buy the whole bottle for $30, it's the same concept with movies. The markup is so much on all the food and everything that you're doing. You're just saying, I don't know that I'm getting that amount. That my point is, I just don't think I'm getting that amount of enjoyment out of it that I'm paying for. You know, it's that ratio where sometimes I'll spend an amount of money on something. I'm like, that was well worth it. I feel like I got every penny's worth. It's just going through and critiquing, saying, I don't know, was that really worth $100 to go see that movie and have that experience?
I went to Wicked and spent $145
Right.
to the fucking movies.
So how great does that experience have to be to justify $145?
And I fell asleep during it.
I mean, that's a concert of a band that you really like and getting good seats. Or decent seats, at least.
Yeah. I'm not sure it was worth the dollars.
Yeah. I hear you. And a suggestion here from Kyle from St. Louis. He said there's a movie on Netflix, The Mitchells versus the Machines. It's a little kiddish. Yes, I'm watching it stoned to AF. All I can do is laugh and think Bird would like this. It's funny, has adult humor, but typical comedy animation, has aliens and dinosaur parts, which I know he'd relate to. It's 2 hours, but nothing some Pepsi Zero cherry and Sun Chips can't help.
I love it.
So there you go. If you're looking for that, The Mitchells versus the Machines on Netflix.
I will watch that shit.
He watches everything.
I would say most of the time I watch what the good people suggest.
Okay.
I only don't watch the shit Virginia.
Did you watch Emilia Perez?
I fell asleep to that movie too.
You didn't fall asleep. You're drunk, and that's called passing out.
She's right, actually. 'cause I
It's different. Oh, I fell asleep. No, that's what classy people do. You're drunk and you passed out.
Well, yeah, you're right.
You pirate.
I learned it from you.
That's right.
That's true.
There you go. Teaching us other bad behaviors what we do on this show. All right, well, thanks for locking in on the Monday KVJ. We'll be back here tomorrow. We'll see you then.